Hi, I'm Dr. Mark Brayman. Having the blueprint of the human experience of reality provides us so much guidance, insight, understanding in how we work in all the details of life, including the deepest details. So just as an example, recently I am participating in a working group of healthcare professionals, researchers, around the topic of meaning, purpose, and spirituality in healthcare. We are needing to define terms. What are they? What words do we use? What labels? How are they different from these other terms or other usages? When do we get them mixed up? Having this blueprint enabled me to understand the parts and pieces and functions so much more readily, so much more easily. And understanding that when we're talking in the context of spirituality about meaning and purpose, we're talking about issues of the who, our spirit or being, and our core, issues of what we find valuable, our priorities, and that the perceiving of value is the meaning, and the expressing of value is the purpose. They're tightly related. They're both about our values in our core, and that is different than the meaning and purpose mentally. What something means mentally, what purpose we have mentally, I'm going to take the trash out, whatever that is very different than the meaning, purpose, and values at our core or in our who, in our spirit or being. And that these are often issues where we find the greatest meaning, purpose, issues of our identity. Do we have worth? Are we being valued? Are we valuing others? It also enables us to understand, while we have these values at our core, we also have values and the relative meaning and purpose in perceiving and expressing mentally, emotionally, and physically. What is valuable to me physically may be a roof over my head. I will find that meaningful. I will have a purpose to get a roof over my head. It is different than mental. Mental values may be something that I think about. I may subscribe to a certain paradigm, a set of a group's values, and I hold those in my cognitive, rational brain, but those may be very different than the values at my core or in my being. And in fact, we humans, ourselves, and in our interactions with others, often experience dissonance between those two. I hate to bring up politics, but we're seeing this a lot in politics right now. People claim one set of values, but the things they do show their real values at their core, and they're not at all what they're saying that they are mentally. They're quite contrary. They're very different. The ones that really matter are the values at our core. That's what we actually live out. That's what is most motivating to us. So, even the biggest, deepest pieces of life, when we have the blueprint, we're enabled to understand the parts and pieces and functions. We can figure this out. It is a beautiful, wonderful thing. And I invite you to use the blueprint throughout your life and the issues you're processing and dealing with, to find where they fit, how they function, how they work healthfully, and why they sometimes don't.